You never thought. This man was just repairing the switch. Suddenly a strong tinnitus hit. The man covers his ears in pain. When he recovered, he found the shabby hut just now has a new look. Men are completely confused. Then a woman's voice came from the next room. Sam looked carefully. The woman looked familiar. Just a few minutes ago, he and his brother are building this century-old house. Sam found a tin box in the dark cell in the corner. There is a wedding photo in it. The bride is very beautiful. At this time, the woman in front is the bride in the photo. This is weird. Sam hurried upstairs to find his brother. The woman picked up the shotgun.
You have 5 seconds to state your business before I splatter your brains all over
It's really
this
not
wall.
necessary. Just listen,
5.
please. Where's my brother?
4.
Stop counting.
3.
Sam came to the street and found that people wore clothes from the last century. Even architecture is the style of last century. Soon his eyes were attracted by a 1919 prohibition notice. That's when he realized, I actually went through 100 years ago. On the other side, Eve took out a private record and began to enjoy music. At this moment, the mother came to pick up her record. It turns out that Eve's brother died suddenly not long ago. A large amount of debt at home. For money, mother married her to a doctor as her wife. In this age, a well-educated lady is not allowed to listen to these love records. Mom is going to throw away the record. Fortunately, Sam showed up in time to get these records back. Evie is grateful for this. Then Sam asked her if there were any secret doors in the basement. Eve doesn't understand. Sam said, I came from the world 100 years later. I have to find a way back. It was a burst of laughter from Eve. Sam had to take out the woman's wedding photos. Eve doesn't believe it anymore because she never took a picture. Talking with Eve, I learned that her grandfather built the house. So Sam decided to attend Eve's engagement dinner. At the wedding banquet, Sam found Grandpa and said, I once felt a strong tinnitus when I went to the basement. He wants to know what's going on. The old man on the side answered this question. There is a big storm called Recco will cause the pressure in the basement to drop sharply. It may cause tinnitus. When Sam wanted to continue questioning, suddenly music starts. Everyone starts to dance. After a while, the rich man proposed to take a wedding photo for Eve. Then she realized that man could have come from 100 years later. On the streets of 1919, from Sam 100 years later, is telling women what the future world will look like.
You can order food to your house instead of cooking sometimes. And music. There's things called speakers. And you can put one in every room in your house and you can have music everywhere, all the time.
Eve was fascinated, eyes full of vision for the future. Then they came to an underground bar. They ordered 2 drinks and danced together. Eve, look at the singers singing heartily on the stage. Her eyes were full of envy. How she wished she could sing. But in this era, it is doomed to be impossible. Sam quickly saw her mind, so he encouraged her to sing on the stage by guessing coins. As a result, warm applause broke out from the audience. Eve said she had never been so happy as she is today. Normally, she would never be allowed to do this, and her eyes flashed a sense of desolation. Then the mother suddenly appeared, brought her back to reality.
You are a young lady, and an engaged one at that.
She doesn't even love the guy. Are you
This is none of your concern.
Hey, Evelyn, you don't have to go with her.
You know nothing.
The next day Sam found the old man at the engagement dinner. He wants to know, how can we be sure that the air pressure has dropped? The master took out a barometer. On the other side, Eve is leaving home to escape the wedding. Then Sam came with the barometer.
It must mean that I'm the one who put it there. Maybe all this always happened. I know it sounds crazy.
Sam didn't expect that this woman had already fallen in love with him. Finally, they decided to leave the world together. Eve is trying to cover up. I took wedding photos. Suddenly there was thunder outside. She realized that Storm Recco was coming, so he ran home because he felt unwell. The rich doctor also followed. They took Eve by force and beat Sam by the way. At this time, the air pressure drops and there is another tinnitus. Unfortunately, only Sam returned to 2019. He told his brother everything, but my brother didn't believe it. Thought he was. He found information about the storm in 1919 on his mobile phone. The storm caused floods. Many people in the town were killed, and Eve's name is on the death list. He decided to go back, save Eve before the flood. But I don't know when the next thunderstorm will come. He started waiting. 1 day, 1 week, 1 year. The result is 3 years. The storm finally came. He rushed into the basement with strong tinnitus. He crossed again. This man wants to travel to 100 years later. He wanted to save his lover who drowned in the flood. But something's wrong this time. The poster on the wall caught his attention. He went through 2034. The woman in the room is putting her son to sleep.
Good night, Sam.
Isn't this woman her beloved Eve? Sam couldn't help shedding tears. That means Eve didn't die in the storm. Later, he successfully crossed the border with him until 2022. So Sam must now go back to 1919 to save Eve. Otherwise, everything in front of us will turn into nothing. He hurriedly turned and left, but accidentally bumped into the toy on the ground. Women seem to perceive something, but Sam has quietly returned to the basement. This time, he correctly crossed to 1919. He found Eve and went to the basement. Hope is at hand, but the beam suddenly collapsed. Stuck Sam. No matter how hard they struggled, it was useless. Sam suddenly realized. He told Eve, "You have to leave quickly. because I just went to 2034. You gave birth to a boy named after me. Eve was very happy to hear that.
This is what's supposed to happen. Yeah. Trust me.
She tried hard to move the beam, but suddenly he slipped and fell into the water. Fate doesn't seem to want them together.
I love you. You need to let go now.
Eve successfully crossed the river until 2022. Brother, when he saw this woman who was soaked, he suddenly understood. So what Sam said was true. They hurried to the basement again. Opened the dark board where Eve once hid the record. There are 2 letters in it. Sam wrote it to her. I didn't die that day, but was saved by 2 masters. I've tried countless ways to get back to you, but Liko Storm never appeared. When you read this letter, it means that I am no longer here. So start a new life. Look ahead, but don't go back. And the other letter is to my brother. There's a 1909 football star signature card in it. It's worth 10 million yuan now. He wants his brother to build a house of his own, fulfill their dreams. On a night of thunder and lightning in 2034, the woman is putting her son to sleep. There was a sudden noise outside the room. The woman followed the voice and came out. The room was empty, but she knows he came.